That's a proto hologram. And this is has the ability, you didn't have to show up today. You could have sat at home with your iPhone and been here with no latency in real time.
Why didn't we do that?
But since you've been here, Proto has advanced to not only the ability to project things and send you all over the world and as many times, they have created a whole new AI platform. What are your feelings on AI?
It's deep. It's troubling because
Troubling?
Yeah.
Why?
Because there is it's all inputted information coming from people. So if you're inputting material that has been written, that's intellectual property, is it not? But if you take, let's say they take your eyes and my nose and someone else's lips and it looks like a familiar person who's starring in this movie, but it's not quite that. And they take a few words of mine, a few words of yours, and they just amalgamation, and they have a new character.
Well, for you, the glass is half empty. For me, the glass is half full, because I believe at our age and the amount of work you want to do, that they can actually, and if you deal with the right people, and I think Proto are the right people, if you deal with the right people, you could be in two places at once doing two different things.
Right.
Anyway, I want to show you. I'm going to show you something that they did with AI. The lovely people at Proto did it AI. I did not record this.
Okay.
I swear to you, I didn't record this.
All right.
Play it. Look at it.
I'm looking. Okay.
No, you can. What I'm saying now was not actually recorded. You can see it. Everything you are seeing and hearing was generated by artificial intelligence. I'd like to take this opportunity to say that if you are ever lucky enough to have a podcast, you could never have a better guest than Bryan Cranston. And I would never say that. I would never say that. I didn't say that. I did not record that. That was made. And I could do that in any language with my voice anywhere in the world. Watch this. Do we have it in Japanese? Let's see if we have it in Japanese. Watch this. 私が進化していることは実際には録音されていません。あなたが見ているもの、聞いているものはすべて人工知能によって生成されました。
How do you know what you're saying, Dad?
I said the exact same thing. Oh. Watch that reflection, Alex.
Bryan Cranston よりも優れたゲストを迎えられることは決してないと言いたいと思います。
All right.
Wow. Well, that's stunning.
And that's still my voice. I did not say any of those words. That's not pre-recorded. That's nothing. They have my permission, and that's how they do it. And I got to say something. When I asked them to do that for me,
yeah,
and this was even Proto, that it recognized my face, and it said, no, that's a celebrity. We will not do that. And I said I had to go give and sign more paperwork than I signed for my home to allow them to say, and they said, what do you want to say? And I just dictated that into the phone. Any language all over the world seamlessly in any time. So even if you're doing a movie, or doing any of your series, the ability to have your character with your voice
speaking in another language,
speaking in a but any of these series could be played all over Asia and whatever. I'm loving it. I know there is controversy.
That's not what you were concerned about. You're concerned about people doing it without your knowledge and without your consent.
Right.
So,
but by the same token, the people that are afraid of that, they can still take, images and things of you. Like they could take the Bryan Cranston, I'm not talking about AI, I'm talking about just whatever anybody's fear is. I could take that character that was on Airwolf somehow and generate that, and then you have to identify and go, that was me. Or by the same token, if AI is writing something, you got to go, but you have a case. If you can identify and show that's yours, that's what people are doing all the time in music. They're sampling music and saying, I didn't.
Yeah.
But as long as you have good control and you understand,
but that is the problem, isn't it? You're trusting on human beings to do the right thing.
But with everything, we in this business have given our images and our voices to everything. They could use, I know that I have, and I would imagine you even more, have been associated with products that I'm not associated with, that I didn't sign off on.
Right.
In other countries, I have seen my image, and even in this country, I've seen my image on brands, and I have nothing I'm not getting any money for it, and I have nothing, and I have had legal cease and desists.
Right.
So that happens anyhow. So when you can at least control, it's that company, and and you make a deal and you trust these people. I just think the ability for us in our late 60s to continue to be prevalent, to continue to be someplace I'm not, and I sanction that. It can be a blessing. It could be, everything could be a nightmare.
And it's always considered there's a ripple effect to everything. Right? Everything.
You get a driver's license, you get a car, you're driving 2 tons of steel, you could kill somebody. It's not as safe as sitting here in the room. You get into a car, it's dangerous, and shit can happen to you and others.
Right.
So any piece of technology can have a negativity.
Yeah, I'm leery about it. I mean, even in the language bit, we have language studies all around the world. People are trained to learn languages.
Right.
That would all go away. Everybody who is involved in interpreting languages, teaching language in schools and colleges and all over the world, that industry stops. I looked at a magazine last summer that was shown to me. Said, take a look at this magazine. There was 2 very handsome models, one man, one woman, doing the requisite positions on a horseback, and you could buy the shoes or the boots, and having coffee, and you could buy her bag or his sweater or whatever. And I'm going, yeah, what am I? These 2 people do not exist. This is an AI layout, and you could never tell it was not real.
So I will say to you, and I'm just being devil's advocate here,
Yeah.
somebody prompted this. That job didn't exist. Somebody prompted whatever imagery they needed.
Right.
So that didn't exist. It's like saying, the people, there were factories, 100 years ago that were making steam engines. Or the steam engine industry is gone because we have, combustible engines.
Yeah, I get that argument.
So what I'm saying is those 2 models that don't exist. But I would imagine more than 2 models and the photographer, the person that is sitting at a computer designing whatever it is, didn't exist. So now there's a new job. I mean, we have to embrace technology and future. It's just it's another side. I mean, I can see all the negativity.
Yeah.
I understand all the negativity. When I saw this, I'm not trying to sell you anything. When I saw this, I went, "Oh my God, I can now at this point in my life in my 60s, my thought, I can embrace an audience that would never know who I am. I want to maybe do my act in Japanese and see if that works. And now I could hit a club in Japan and do a stand-up act in Japan where I couldn't even dream of doing that.
Are you actually planning that now?
Yes. I want to do that. And maybe in every other country. Comedy is hard because comedy is it's more than just words is a me and Heidi Klum often discuss it. Heidi Klum is a very smart lady and really good business person. But sometimes on AGT, she gets a reputation for not getting the comics.
American comedy is
right,
different
but
than...
irony is it's a really irony is a big thing in American in
humor,
our humor.
Yeah.
It
doesn't translate their own
sometimes irony. She'll say, but he said that. I go, yeah, but that's why it's funny because he meant that. When that's not your first language,
right,
you take verbatim what somebody says.
Right.
That's like The Office. When you look at the 2 different versions of The Office, the comedy in those 2 different versions of The Office are very different.
Yeah.
depending on the country.
Comedy more than drama translates, but comedy doesn't really, and it's kind of like music is a little bit different, you know? So I'm just sharing. I'm excited about it.
I think I'd love to see the reaction to that.
Me too. That's what I'm waiting. This is
But not
hours
just
old.
AI, technology in general has taken away a lot of stuff that we have done. Even as a teacher, I see, my students were like, what's the need to learn this mathematical equation when you can just do it on your phone? What's the need to learn how to spell when you have spell check? What's the need? There's no more cursive or learning how to tell time on a clock. All that stuff is obsolete now and not necessary because of the technology we have.
And what do you tell your students when they ask those questions?
Well, there's different standards that you have to teach anyways, and some of those have actually gone away since I became a teacher. Like I don't think telling time on a clock is actually one of the standards in kindergarten anymore, whereas it was. So it's interesting to see the shift of what we find necessary.
But even in our business, I'm sure you're working on a lot of productions that are employing CGI and different ways of changing whoever your character, however you look.
Yeah.
You may have said, an actor may have said years and years ago, listen, if I can't look like that, or if that person or thing is not in the room, then that's not acting.
Yeah.
So it's all how we move. Listen, it's happening.
It's happening.
I'm not selling it.
It's here.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So how do we
adjust to it?
Adjust.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I can't remember who it was, but there's a famous philosopher that said that the biggest asset somebody can have is adaptability. In life is to adapt and adopt. And we're all our life is so much our generation, what people are doing and how things are employed and how you get information is so vastly different from when we were kids.
Yes, it is.
It's fucking crazy.